via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, illusion or Maya, beclouds truth from manifestation. How we can understand this? It surrounds you, all kind of illusions, religious and of different nature. It beclouds the truth from manifestation. As a device for the process of transformation, Maya creates a veil around truth, and in the process it gave birth to 3 disciples. Who are these 3 disciples? One of these is Brahma, the creator, is worldly. Creation is worldly, there is nothing spiritual about it. The other is preserver, Vishnu, and the last one is the minister or divan, the destroyer, Shiva. Nanak reveals truth. According to existential law or hukum, this even guides the 3 disciples of Maya. There is a specific reason for these 3. Now you look at it here. You start a manufacturing plant. You are creating something, creating a design of garments, creating a cosmetic or anything. Then it has to be maintained. Then it has to be destroyed. There is a specific reason behind these. You need to make a living. In order to make a living, you have to do something. You start a business. So, what is reality? Is the business reality or the truth that lies behind the setup of the business is important? The reason that I need to make a living, I have to live in the world so that I can continue my work, because even the work for the transformation of human consciousness requires certain things. If I cannot make my living, how can I provide the free service to the people? Then for each talk, you have to contribute. As such, when it is available free, people find it difficult, very difficult to find time to listen to these talks or read the posts that are posted. The one thing is very certain. We like the posts, but whether we read or not, there is a big question mark. We like the posts without reading them. They like first and then read it. Whereas it should be, you should read first and see if it is worth liking, worth doing anything else. So for that purpose, I have to live in the world, whether I work in a government office or do my own business. So that is a means. Objective is different. So for that, I have to set up a plant, I have to create something, the whole team of the workers. The team requires, you have to form a company which should have a certain directors, managing director, the secretary. These 2 are very important. director and secretary for any official documents to be signed. Then to run the operation, you need HR manager, you need purchasing manager, financial manager, sales manager, research and development. If the new products are not developed, the plant cannot continue. So all these big cloud the truth, but they are the team of the workers. But what Hindus give importance to Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, not that which lies behind that. The purchasing manager is not important. Is the setup of the organization is important, and this purchasing manager or sales manager is a part of that team. It helps in that. In that we forgot the purpose. The purpose is to make a living, and through that living you can make your life comfortable, so that when you have to have a meditation session, nobody is coming to you that, Daddy, I want this. So you have taken care of all those things, and then you say that now is my time for the meditation session, live streaming. So the real purpose is lost. Truth is most auspicious. Truth is sublime. These three are the manifestations of truth. This is how truth hides itself behind the veil. So purchasing manager becomes very important. He is invited. Sales manager is invited for all the parties by the persons whom he is marketing his products, marketing the products of the company. He starts getting the gifts from the people. Purchasing manager gets the gift. Sales manager has to give gifts to all those people. Like in our case, we purchase items. So who we purchase from, they are supposed to give us gifts. I was once talking to a purchasing manager in a chain of supermarkets. I asked him about one of my product to approve for the supermarket. Then he told me, look, there is a big company. They have brought 18 containers of a particular brand of milk from Germany. And the managing team told this person who brought this, if you cannot sell this, you will be fired. So what do you think of this product? I said, that's a good product. I said, if I had come to you with the same item, you would say there is no space. I have to wait. But you cannot reject the product of this big company. If you do that, you will be fired from your present job. He said, these people give us a lot of benefits throughout the year. So who they are giving the benefits? They are giving the benefits to the company by giving them special prices or gifts. And at the same time, if the purchasing manager is not getting the gift from a big gift from that, he will not approve that product. So he has two pressures. One is that he is getting the gift from that company, and he is under pressure from his management team that you must approve the product of this company. So truth is beclouded. This is what happens. We worship Vishnu, the temples of Vishnu, we worship Shiva. So all kind of things happen. So this is what we have to understand, what is the purpose behind it. The purpose behind your job, the purpose behind whatever you are doing, what is the purpose? Manifestation of truth. This is how truth hides itself behind the veil of Maya, illusion with ego, and ignorance. Ego and ignorance are the two instruments that Maya or illusion uses. So it was the ego and ignorance. One breaks into three, and then three decomposes into many. Thus comes into existence the world of duality. You can move as far as you can or wish, yet still you remain within the existential law. You can go anywhere. In the process, you can deviate, and that is what is happening. Everyone is deviated. You can move away. However, you cannot go that far that return is not possible. You may go for any function, to do a concert far away. You go to some place to visit far away, but that is not far away from where you have started your journey that you cannot return. There is no place from where the return may not be possible. This is the reason that there is no one who cannot be cured of his sickness. In spiritual terms, no one is incurable. All diseases can be cured once you are ready for it. It is the cosmic law that takes you away from your path and also takes you away from him. Riding his support, you can move away one day. Even to sin, you need his support. Remember, even in a sinner, it is he who pulsates. You can move away. You can forget him for some time. You can even forget yourself. However, there is no way to forget him completely. So whenever you seek the way to Godhood, your question is wrong that I have to seek divinity or anything. You have never lost him. Even in the sinner, he exists in the form of consciousness. Even if you wish, you cannot forget him. God is your existential nature. I have to use the word God because I am taking the analogy based on Nanak's message of Japji Sahib, and he uses the word God for Rab or the Master. God is your existential nature. You are not separate from him. Both you and he are two sides of the same coin. You can lose something, that which is not part of you. You can forget your possession. Sometimes it does happen that we forget that I forgot completely that I had this already and I was going to buy it. You may forget where you have kept your pen, but it's not that you do not have the pen. You may have forgotten where you have placed your glasses. You may forget where you have kept it. You may even lose it. The only thing that is possible is that you may become oblivious of his presence. You may become, why do we are searching for something? We do not know where we have put our glasses or our pen or our important item. So what is that? Did you lose it? You become oblivious. Maybe you have left it at a friend's place. Maybe you have left it as a shop. Maybe you have left somewhere else. It may be possible that someone who finds your smartphone may not return it to you. Instead, clean it and sell it. But you have not lost it. You are the only proof of the presence of godliness in you. The whole world is the device for you to forget, for device to forget you. And remember, that which is the cause of forgetfulness will certainly become the way of remembrance one day. You forgot, and not that somebody else will remember. You will remember that, oh, I put it there. In certain moments, you forget. In certain moments, you remember. What is the way to forget? When you pay too much attention to the objects and beings, you become oblivious of your presence or existence. You are paying attention to too many things. You are talking, you put your glasses somewhere. You are talking and engaged in so many useless and petty things that you became totally oblivious of where have you placed your glasses. You become oblivious of your presence or existence. Then how do you remember? It is said, the more you try to remember a particular name or something that you have forgotten, the more you try, you cannot get it. So what is the way? You relax, you forget about it, take a cup of tea, take a stroll, and all of a sudden something happens and you remember, oh, I remember it. I left it there. Who told you that? The one who made you oblivious of it makes you aware of it. It is the dhyan, meditation, that brings forgetfulness. Because your meditation was somewhere else, it brought forgetfulness. And when it is relaxed, your consciousness is relaxed, your attention is relaxed, remembrance comes back. So that which makes you forget about this is the same thing that makes you aware of it. When your dhyan is focused on the objects of duality, objects and beings of duality, you are so much involved in thinking of the new models of the phone, how to get the money to get it, how to go to the place because your vehicle is not working and today is the launch of the new smartphone. So you will forget something. And when there is awakening, then dhyan brings the remembrance of that which remains unmanifest behind everything that is finite. Even when you are looking for something, never forget the seer. In the process of holding on to the scene, you forget the seer. You are holding on to the scene, the objects and beings. You forget the seer. Howsoever attractive the scene may be, hold on to the seer. Forgetfulness is your way. You go to see the movie. There you get attached to the scene on the screen. You cry, you laugh, you feel sad. You undergo so many emotional disturbances. Even on a day-to-day life, you see something. All of a sudden, various emotions gushes onto your screen. If the scene is a tragedy, you will find sadness surrounding you. And if the film has too much excitement, you are very attentive to that. In the process of attachment, you forget that the screen is empty. This is the game of light and shadow, sun and shadow. It is the effect of sound and light. The moment you are aware of your mistake or shortcomings, in the process the seer disappears and you have entered the realm of the seen. The moment you are aware of your mistakes or shortcomings, In the process, this seer disappears and you have entered the realm of seeing. You forget something, then you have seen a scene, it is in front of you, you get lost into it. You are in illusion. Slowly and slowly, this becomes your habit, and you continue to live by that habit. In the night, you dream, and the dream appears to be true. This understanding has deepened. That which appears you consider as true. On waking, you realize the futility of the dream. Then again in the night you dream. And when the dream is happening, do you consider that the dream not to be true? You consider it is true. Next morning on waking up, you consider it to be your mistake. And this process continues along. Every morning you find a dream to be false. Yet still, after 10 or 12 hours, you forget this and you again enter in the world of the dream. What is the reason that dream appears to be true? And even after dreaming so many times, you pay attention to it. You go to someone who can interpret your dreams. Even after dreaming, so many times you consider it to be true. And this is because of the habit. This is because of the so much advertisement around you. There are people who tell you they are the ones who interpret the dreams. That which you see, you consider it to be true. This is your habit. There is a process in Tantra. It says dream state continues until you become aware of its falsehood in the dream. The moment, even in the dream, you become aware that this is false. And until then, you will never consider the world of duality as false. So first, awareness has to come in the dream. You are dreaming. You know this is happening. When you are watching the movie, how many times when we see a scene being enacted, we get lost into it. If at that time you realize that this is simply an acting being performed on the stage, this is not truth, it is falsehood, it is for entertainment. Can you separate that entertainment from your emotional outbursts at that time? Right now, as you are, you only consider this world of duality as true. When you are watching the movie, you consider that as reality. When a problem comes in your life with a spouse, you are lost for the words. You are emotionally disturbed. You do not consider this as an acting. When you are traveling in a plane, you meet someone, you spend 10, 12 hours together, you consider it a reality, enjoy it at that moment. But do not let the aftertaste remain in your mind. When you are eating food, why are you eating food? To get the satiation, to get the energy. Is it not the purpose of going to a restaurant, eat the food or eating food? When you have eaten the food, do you want to keep a notes of that, what you have eaten? What were the ingredients, all that? Next time you have something else and you enjoy that. Next scene has come in. You see a movie, you remain involved in it for the time being, without considering it to be a false or simply an entertainment. Then you go to see, because now you are going to see another movie. You are not going to eat the same food next time. You are going to try new dishes. Do you want to go and see the same movie again and again? Maybe one or two or three times you may see it. Tantra has developed certain subtle techniques. Right now, as you are, you consider only this world of duality as true. Your spouse has left you. You are saddened. You cannot function properly. You have considered it as a reality. You remember that before this person, your spouse, came into your life, you were. And while you were, it was also there. There is a Sufi called Junaid. He had a son. He loved his son very dearly. So his wife thought that if the son dies, Junaid may not be able to live. Son got sick. He was sickly, and one day it happened he died. So his wife was surprised. There was no effect of the death of the son on his face. So she thought maybe people are there around. Maybe when he is alone he will break down. He went and cremated the son, returned. All the people who have come for mourning, they also disappeared, but as if there was no effect on it. So his wife asked him, I thought that you will break down because the son you love dearly and he is no more. What Junaid said is very relevant. He said, at one moment I thought so, that I will break down. Then I remembered at a time there was no son. I was alone. Was I not happy then? Then son came into our life. You came into my life. Happiness increased somewhat. Then son was born. Happiness increased. Was I a different person when you came? Or something that I was not before you came into life? Did I become different? The only difference was that I became a father that was unmanifest in me, that became revealed because the son was born. I am a father also. And then I thought, children are born through you, not from you. They are a gift from God. So when He has given you, who has the right to take him away? If your boss has given you certain status, certain perks in your organization, because of certain reasons, your role, you have performed your role very efficiently, you have been an instrument in the progress and success of the business, so you are given perks. The moment that is not happening, will that perks will not be withdrawn? So I thought at one moment, but then the moment that awakening came to me, that before I was alone and I was happy, then you came, from one I became two. My happiness did not increase, happiness remained. Quantity wise, it did not increase. It was the same happiness. Nature did not change. Role changed. Then son was born. So why should I be unhappy when the son is no more there? You can undertake an experiment. Whenever dream is happening, you will raise your hand or something else like this. Each night before going to sleep, remember this. That you will remember, like if you do this before you are going to sleep, you're putting the head on the pillow, say to it that you will raise your hand or something like this each time the dream comes in. Or if you tell in the dream that wake me up at 5 o'clock in the morning, wake me up. Rest assured, within a few days' time it will happen that every morning you will wake up at 5 o'clock. So there is something that wakes you up. Then each night before going to sleep, remember this, to raise your hand or something else. Then one day you will find this echo deep within in your dream. This echo will enter your subconscious. After a period of 3 to 4 months, one day you will find as soon as you start dreaming, a remembrance surfaces and you come to realize that you are dreaming. The moment you are lost in the scene, the seer disappears. The process of awakening has to bring from dreams. Then one day you will realize that this world of duality is nothing else but a dream. Gurdjieff used to say, the day your consciousness becomes double-arrowed, it looks at the outside as well as it is focused on you also, that very day you will attain. The day your consciousness becomes double-arrowed, that very day you will attain. His effort was, whenever you are seeing someone, never forget the seer. Be aware of both seen and the seer simultaneously. With this, transcendence happens. Witnessing is born in you. As soon as witnessing happens, you have attained the Trinity. In the Trinity, two are visible, the objects. Two are visible and third remains invisible. This Trinity intensifies. As this Trinity intensifies, the two disappear in oneness. At this influence, all three disappear into one. This is the reason Hindus call the place Prayag as the king. This is a unique confluence. There are three streams. The two remains visible. The blue waters of Yamuna river and white of Ganga river. But the third, which is Saraswati, that remains invisible. This is not only significant, instead symbolic as well. The stream of Saraswati, which is invisible, refers to the missing mystical link of consciousness. Awareness or dhyan alone can bring that missing link into you. So too, whenever your meditation goes, dhyan goes to something, the object and so it goes, so object and the subject remain visible. However, you are the object, you are seeing it, but the seer is different. That which happens between the object and the subject remains invisible. When the three merge into one another, there is oneness. Nanak says, Maya is like mother. Out of this, three are born. This is the Hindu concept of incarnation. Incarnation is that which comes into existence out of its free will as manifestation. The worldly is Brahma, Bhandari is Vishnu, the custodian of the storehouse, and Divan is the Shiva, the destroyer. Hardly you will find any temple of the creator because his job is finished. There is only one temple of Brahma, the creator, in India. People did not build temples. Brahma is worldly. It creates the finite world, so why to worship the world? The largest temples are that of Shiva, the destroyer. It is easiest. You can put a stone and that is finished. Shiva is the god of death. He is worth worshipping. Brahma creates the world of duality, so it is continuously creating. One of the greatest desire of India is the end of the world of duality. Only when this duality ends, salvation happens. Shiva is the door to salvation, that's why it is worshipped. Vigyan Bhairav Tantra is a door to salvation, door to transcendence. And Shiva is the one whose insights are comprised of this scripture, Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. It is scientific, it is beyond duality, beyond the known, and it is that which cannot be placed into the words. This is the subtle reason that there are so many Shiva temples, but your understanding is quite different. You worship Shiva not for transcendence, but out of the fear of death, because he is the god of death, the destroyer. Quite a few are the temples of Vishnu as well. So you are not worshipping Shiva to transcend beyond the body, the mind, the intellect, but because there is fear of death. That's why you are worshipping Shiva. There are those who are afraid of death. Such people worship the custodian, the Brahma, because he preserves, the Vishnu, he preserves. So I must be preserved as long as possible. The business community wants to hold on to the world. They worship Vishnu. Nanak says Vishnu is custodian, the storekeeper. He is in the middle. He is the custodian of wealth. That's why the business people worship him through Lakshmi. Those who have attachment to wealth worship Lakshmi, the consort of Vishnu. Try to understand this. If you have to get something done by your husband, if you want to get something through a person, you approach the man via his wife. There is no other way. If a wife is pleased, the husband is in your hand. Such is man's understanding. Vishnu sustains the world. Those who are desirous of the world, desirous of all that, worship Vishnu. Shiva is the end. He is the embodiment of renunciation from the world of duality. That's why he is Bhairav. For Shiva, you need not offer any flowers. Just a few leaves are enough to worship. This Trinity is the sutra of birth, life, and death. Vishnu, Brahma, birth, Vishnu, life, Shiva, death. Remember, birth is not in your hand. This is already there. So there is no need to worship Brahma. Life is available. So that's why the title that our author Nivedita had chosen, life, love, and light. Love is the one that preserves Light is transcendence. She did not use the word death. She used the word life that comes in already, that is there. Then how to attain to light? That love sustains and bridges the two. Birth is not in your hand, it is already there. So there is no need to worship life. There is no need to worship the Creator. Life is available, life is continuing, and when life is continuing, this has to be preserved or sustained. And how can you preserve the life? Through love alone. Love is the preserver of life. In order to maintain the relationship, life is maintained through relationships, managing them properly. And how you can manage a relationship? Through love alone. So love bridges the life and death. Life is slipping from your hand each moment. Until this awareness comes, your journey of transcendence cannot begin. So relationships are slipping out of your hand. Unless the awareness of death becomes intense, the awareness of death means all that is finite. And all that is finite, the death of that is transcendence. Unless the awareness of transcendence becomes intense, you will remain worldly. The moment the desire for transcendence becomes intense, you are moving into the different direction. You are moving in the direction of light. What is the difference between worldly and non-worldly? Sannyasi is the one who has realized the futility of life. Unless the person realizes the futility of life, cannot realize the desire for transcendence will not become intense. He has realized that life will certainly end into death. Before it ends into death, let there be transcendence, let there be light. Soon, being will become non-being. That which came into life will certainly vanish one day. Has to got the awareness of death so that transcendence may be possible. Except man, no other creature has religion. No other creature has the awareness of death, which can lead to transcendence. Animals cannot hear the footsteps of approaching death. To witness death, a particular awareness is needed. To have the intense desire for transcendence, a certain particular kind of awareness is needed. And among men who are like the animal that we see all around in numbers, there is no awareness of death. First, the awareness of death has to come, that all that is I considered it myself is slipping out of my hand. Before it happens, let me transcend beyond that. You will remain animal-like until you can hear the footsteps of death, and your process of transformation, transcendence begins. Light is transcendence. That's why she has chosen the next title, Light Beyond Sex. Light beyond sex means transcendence beyond sex. Death has knocked at your door. The moment life has entered, the day Brahma started his work, the role of Shiva began. With creation, the destruction begins. You are not aware of it. You are happy that life came into. You have not heard the footsteps of death. So the desire did not get in, no desire arose into you for transcendence. When the desire for transcendence came, you need to know how to understand love, how love bridges life and light. You were not aware. One who has forgotten death becomes oblivious of light. You have come into life many times and many a times you have crossed over to the other shore of death, but the idea of transcendence never appeared in you. Still you go on forgetting death. Remember each finite moment, death, so that the desire for transcendence could become so intense that nothing else matters to you but transcendence beyond. Relationships, transcendence. For that, you have to understand the nature of relationships. Then you can act. You can play the role of what he may, cause frigid claws of death may soon descend, and then you shan't have time to mend. So transcendence, transcend beyond, before that happens to you. Except that there is nothing more definite in life, and death must lead to transcendence, not the fear of death. The footsteps of death should awaken the seed of transcendence in you. This is the essence of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. Life has been created. That's why, very wisely, the author had called the series Life, Love and Light, Journey through Tantra. Let me just check what she has put it out there. A path of Tantra, a journey of transcendence. Path of Tantra, she calls it as the subtitle as the series, Path of Tantra. Journey of transcendence, not journey of death. Journey of transcendence through my master. And this is 3 titles have appeared in that series. Life, Love and Light, Light unto Myself, Life of Bliss Beyond Duality. Very aptly, the author has chosen the title, the subtitle, and series 1, 2, and 3. If this certainty of death becomes the central theme, then certainly your journey to inward has begun. That very day you have moved away from many to 3. And one who has reached to 3, the one door is now open. And that door that opens, Nanak says, God alone is the one who directs these 3, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, the existential law, the cosmic law that he calls it as Hukum. Hukum Rajai Chalana, Nanak Likhiya Naal. If you want to offset the effects of ego, Hukum Rajai Chalana, Nanak Likhiya Naal. Follow the existential law. It is that law which directs these 3 according to a certain pattern. Life has to come. Life is to be preserved for certain time through love. Then it must end. But before it ends, if the desire for transcendence becomes intense in you, you have transcended. But you are like a goat or a cow that has a long rope around her neck. The rope is her freedom as well as bondage. The length of the rope gives the animal a certain amount of freedom. So you have certain freedom in love. But it cannot go beyond the ordained distance. That, how far you can go, what is your ordained distance, that is decided by the owner. However, the length of the rope can be varied. Such is the relationship between you and God. This is what you can call destiny. As your understanding of the existential law deepens, you go on falling within its circle. Your freedom will go on increasing as long as this understanding of the cosmic law deepens in you. Remember one thing, you can never go beyond his boundaries. And if this remembrance deepens in you, you can come out of sin. Also, with this remembrance, you can come out even of the virtue. Then neither virtue is important for you nor sin. You keep on saying that I have sinned many times. You consider virtue as better. These are the two sides of the same coin, virtue and sin. I do all he wants me to do. He has given me this life and an understanding, then why let ego remain? And as this happens, bliss descends. Such is not your understanding. Your understanding is like that of a fly that was riding the wheel of a chariot and thought itself to be bigger than the chariot, as the chariot was raising dust while moving. This fly was sitting on the wheel of the chariot. The chariot was moving at a certain speed, and the big horses were yoked to it. The fly saw all around. Seeing the cloud of dust, the fly thought that it has grown so big, and because she is moving, this dust is flying. That is your nature. You think all that is happening around is because of you. So too you are sitting on this wheel of time which is moving swiftly, and the dust that is there in the atmosphere is not because of you as you think, as the fly was thinking. Instead, it is happening because of the cosmic wheel and its movement. The day you understand this, tremendous peace will descend in your life. All disturbance, chaos, and despair in life because of ego, and that will disappear. Ego discovers many unnecessary things. As your understanding clears that in the wheel of time you are no more than a fly, that very moment peace descends. More often meditators inquire, there is no happiness in their life. Can a master give peace? Certainly, as long as you, ego, exist, peace cannot happen. You are the problem. The moment you disappear, the master only shows you the way that you are the problem. The moment you disappear, the ego disappears. The falsehood disappears. Your identity disappears. Peace descends on its own. As such as you are a lie, you are a dream. If I have to correctly say, you are in fact a dream within a dream. Like Chong-Su dreamed that he has become a fly. Nothing, no problem. But he said that what if the fly was also dreaming that it has become Chong-Su? So am I a fly, or am Chong-Su who is dreaming? Am I Chong-Su who is dreaming, or am I the fly that has dreamed that it has become Chong-Su? You are not even a dream. Have you ever noticed there is a dream within dream? In the dream you are dreaming that you are going to sleep. You lie down on the bed. As soon as you lie down on the bed, you fall asleep and you are dreaming. And this process of dream within dream can continue. I have heard an ancient Chinese story. The story says a woodcutter was cutting wood. By lunch, he was tired, so he want to take a short nap. He dreamt of a hidden treasure buried nearby. He He went and dug up the place to find the treasure buried under the ground. There was just a little bit dust. The pot was full of gold and diamonds. He thought that during the night he will return to collect the treasure, as it was risky during the day. Now the man was poor. For identification, he stuck a wood in the ground and returned home. When it was dark, he went to the place. On reaching, he found that the stick was intact, but the treasure was missing. Surprised, he returned home and narrated the entire story to his wife. He told his wife that he is unable to decide if he really saw the dream or not. The stick, but the problem is this stick was still there in the ground. This is enough proof that it was not a dream, because he stick that. And also the pot was there because the spot was empty. When he went during the night to pick up the pot, the stick that he has placed as a symbol, as a sign, was there. But the pot was missing, the hole was there. This is enough proof that someone has taken away the treasure. The wife said, definitely you would have dreamt that you went in the night. You saw the stick stuck there and the treasure was missing. Go to sleep now. That very night, another person dreamt the same treasure. He saw the woodcutter leaving the stick there as identification. When he woke up, he ran to the place and saw the stick. Another person dreamt that a woodcutter came and there was a treasure. He stuck a wood. So when he ran to the place, he saw the wood stick there. He brought the treasure home. He told his wife that he is not sure if it was a dream or a reality. Whatever it be, the case that I have brought the treasure home. This certainly proves that I was not dreaming. I saw the woodcutter sticking the wood there, and that is why I brought the treasure. The wife said, the treasure is clear, and it is certain that you saw the woodcutter sticking the wood. It is not safe to keep the treasure home. It is better to inform the king and let him decide. The man was honest enough. He carried the treasure for the king. And by then, the complaint of the woodcutter has also reached the king. The king got worried. The king said, whatever be the reason, one thing is certain, that both of you dreamt. The woodcutter dreamt. He divided the treasure among the two. That night, king told the whole incident to the wife. The wife said, definitely you would have dreamt. Now you go to sleep. That is what the master tells you. Definitely you would have dreamt, now go to sleep. This is an important story in China. And for thousands of years, people contemplate who actually dreamt, the woodcutter, or the man who took the treasure, or the king. Whatever happened was dreamlike. And it becomes difficult to decide if the if the wood was really stuck. At the time of death, everybody appears on the screen like a dream as well. Those who have known say that everything is the dream of open eyes. This is dream because there is no connection between dream and that which is. This is the state of feeling in between. Between the dream and awaking state, there is a feeling. It does not matter if you have seen with open eyes or closed eyes. The dream symbolizes that it is now and it will not remain later. So is the nature of life. One moment it is there, one moment you are very close to your wife, next moment it is not, that closeness is vanished. In this dream, there is still another dream. That dream is your ego. You consider yourself as a doer in all dreams. The whole world sees you dream. The only you cannot see it. Everyone in the house sees that you are dreaming. Your wife, your children, everyone. But you are the only one who say that I did not dream, it was a reality. Unless witness arises, you are really blind, blind to consciousness. Also, there is a dream within dream. This strengthens the feeling of doer. The world of finiteness creates this feeling of the doer. You remain a dream within dream. The day you will hear the footsteps of death, I dissolves. When I dissolve, the process of transcendence begins before death into dust, sense winds and songs and zinger. How can you save yourself from death? If the outgoing breath does not come in, what can you do? Then you realize that you are helpless in front of death. Before you try to forget the reality of life, then ego cannot hurt. Wise, remember death. Death brings ego to its natural death. And with the death of ego, the desire intensifies in you for transcendence. The day you will understand death totally, you will not be able to save ego. Your process of transcendence will begin. If you aspire to attain oneness, then always remember the footsteps of death. There is no greater truth than death. The outcome of this truth is dissolution of ego. With the dissolution of ego, death happens. When you begin to see death clearly, ego decomposes. Awareness of death is the antidote for ego. The moment ego vanishes, you realize that he is the ultimate doer and you are simply an instrument. God goes on seeing and caring for you. However, because of your ego, you cannot see all that he is doing. This is strange. Try to understand this. Nanak says he can see the trinity of Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. However, none of these can see him. The manager, the owner, the managing director sees the role of all of them. But none of these can see him. If the owner is somewhere in a different country and he has set up a team of workers, team of managers, so they are doing the work, but they are not seeing who is the owner. However, none of these can see him. This is significant for each aspirant. You see this finite world with your own eyes, and the seer that is hidden within you sees your eyes as well. But your eyes cannot see him. You cannot touch the entire world with your hands, but you can. But your hands cannot see the tears. Your hands can touch anything that you want to touch, but your hand cannot see the seer within you, the one that touches you. Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh are three eyes or three faces. That is how Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram are three faces. Satchit, Anand are three faces. These are the three eyes. These eyes see the world, but these eyes cannot see the seer in them. That which is hidden within you remains beyond your reach. You can see that only when your eyes close from the outer. To move within, all avenues of your consciousness to move outward have to change. Brahma, you have to go beyond Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, this and that. That is the way for your consciousness to move inward. And these are the ways, these are the eyes. Through the eyes, you go to the form in the outer world. Through touch, you go to the outer world. Through the voice, you reach the other. There are many beautiful and meaningful stories. It is said that Brahma attained, when Buddha attained enlightenment, Brahma came to bow down to Buddha. Bowing down his head at the feet of Buddha, Brahma expressed desire for awareness. Nanak is pointing out towards this. A man of wisdom is higher than your trinity. Even Brahma comes to the company of a person. Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh represent three. And as long as you are three, you cannot know one. And one can only know by going beyond the three. When you go, how do you know time? Is past time? Is present time? Is future time? When you go beyond past, present, and future, then you know what really time is. Hindus created beautiful stories. No one else has created such beautiful stories. This has taken a little longer time. I will continue it in the next session to continue rather than finishing it, because there are many dimensions of it which I need to explain further. So I will take it in the subsequent session. I thought that whatever I need to tell you or let you know can be put into, so because of that the time is extended. I'll leave it for now until we meet again. Take care and do have a pleasant day. Happy season's greetings to each one of you.